To give you all some insight into my reflection, I'm going to begin by telling you all a story. Over the past 2.5 weeks of Lent, I've been reading and praying with an autobiographical book called The Pilgrimage by my favorite author, Paulo Coelho. The premise of the novel focuses on Paulo's journey along the road to Santiago, which is the way of St. James's burial place, starts in France and ends at the other side of Spain. While this is the most important aspect of the book, Paulo is also embarking on the pilgrimage to find a precious gift that was taken from him and hidden somewhere along the path. As Paulo journeys along the road, he is to remain completely obedient to his guide, Petrus, who is a very wise middle-aged man. At the beginning of the book, Paulo is so concerned about finding his precious gift that he forgets the most important thing about the journey, which is getting to the final destination. Due to the fact that Paulo was so concerned about finding his gift, he neglected to realize that he had walked the same 5-mile circular path for an entire week. Paulo failed to observe the path of the road due to his own blind ambition and failed to pay attention to the most important aspect of the journey, the path. Upon reading about Paulo's blindness to his path, I was struck by how applicable this was to my own life. I began asking myself, what blinds me from slowing down and paying attention to my own path? The path that God set before me. What holds me back from paying attention to the beauty and significance of this path? I realize that all too often, I neglect to slow down and recognize the small beauties of my own day-to-day pilgrimage. I get caught up in the small objectives of the day and forget to pay attention to the beautiful details of my surroundings and the meaningful interactions between my friends and family. Focusing on that application I have due at the end of the week is another way I lose focus. That quiz I have in 30 minutes. That meeting I have right after class. They all get in the way of me hearing God's voice along my pilgrimage. All of these routine and daily objectives have blinded me from recognizing God's voice along my own path. My daily frustrations get in the way of hearing God's voice in the small details of my pilgrimage. At the beginning of Lent, I realized that the 5-mile circular path of my daily routine had become so monotonous that I began to overlook my own family and friends. I neglected to appreciate and love my friends. I forgot the importance of small deeds done with great love. The more I filled my life with so much busyness and anxiety, the more I stopped paying attention to the movements of my own heart. As part of my Lenten promise, I challenged myself to slow down and pay attention to the details of my surroundings in interactions with my family, friends, and even the strangers. Since the initiation of this endeavor, I have walked slower from my dorm to my classes, and from my classes to my other classes, and from there to home. I've walked slowly on the quad and watched people interact, my own friends interact, and how they've interacted with me. I hate texting, if you all know me, and I hate talking on the phone. But I've challenged myself to stay engaged with my friends and family by sending those small text messages and trying to give my mom that phone call. As I slowed down and become more intentional with my actions and words, I found joy in the little deeds and details of the day. Along the road, I've discovered the names of 5 different trees on campus. Who knew that there were plaques all over the place? I found God's grace in that simple text message or conversation as I've walked by and somebody's asked, "Hey, how's your day going?" And I've taken it seriously. I found a deeply satisfying joy in the friendships and family of my life. And most importantly, I've come to more fully recognize the blessings that God's placed on me on my daily pilgrimage. The more I slow down, listen, and watch the details, people, and surroundings of my life, the more I see where God is calling my heart to serve. In context of contemplating your own pilgrimage, I want to read you all some words from Petrus. When you're moving towards an objective, it's very important to pay attention to the road. It is the road that teaches us the best way to get there. And the road enriches us as we walk its length. And when you have an objective in your life, it will turn out to be better or worse, depending on the route you choose to reach it and the way you negotiate that route. I now challenge each of you to slow down and pay attention to the details of your road this Lent. As a form of prayer, try walking home today at half your pace. Observe what you see, what you feel, what you hear, and the people you interact with. At a deeper level, are you following the path that God has set before you? What keeps you from truly enjoying your journey with God? As you leave here today and continue on your pilgrimage, I want to leave you all with some words of wisdom that I have found to be extremely comforting over these past couple of weeks. It's from a poem called Passover Remembered by Ala Renee Bozarth. Pack nothing. Bring only your determination to serve and your willingness to be free. Do not hesitate to leave your old ways behind. Fear, silence, submission. Only surrender to the need of the time, to love justice and walk humbly with your God. Go forth, do justice, embrace faithful love, and walk humbly